Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? This mug is pathetic, so subscribe to it to make me feel better about myself. Like this video as well, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So we have a bit of an exclusive for you today here on Big Mouth. Oh yes. Who said someone with 50 views or yesterday's video, 22 views on my video that I took an hour to do? Anyway, who said a teeny YouTuber like me isn't connected, that isn't schmoozing with celebrities and insiders from the studios, even though I don't take pictures with them and things like that. I'm not friends with people for positioning. I'm friends with people because I like them, whether they're famous or not famous. Anyway, away from the point. The point being, I have learned exclusively that Grant Gustin's The Flash will be in the Flashpoint movie, and he will be co-starring with Ezra Miller. And we already know, from me again, that we are going to get Ray Fisher's Cyborg in this movie. So to repeat, so I can say my words without slurring them, official. From me to you, this is going to happen. The Arrowverse Flash, Grant Gustin, will be in Ezra Miller's Andy Bichetti's movie, Flashpoint. Now, whether it's called Flashpoint or not, I don't know yet. I think things are getting set back to before they drove Zach out, so that's very interesting as well. But yes, I have learned exclusively in the past few hours that Grant Gustin's The Flash will co-star in the Flashpoint movie with Ezra Miller, and I really want to know what you think about that. Now, for me, this was confirmed as soon as the two crossed over in the Crisis on Infinite Earths TV show, basically, on that episode. We were all surprised. We didn't see it coming. Now, I was watching a live video, is it the Lightcast? And they were talking about how Zack doesn't own the DC characters, but for example, Ezra Miller's The Flash, he has some kind of copyright. So what happens is his DCEU, whenever his DCEU was involved, even though he wasn't involved in the franchise anymore, it would say produced by Zack Snyder. They always have to have a credit. They don't really have to ask permission for them to be used, but they would have spoke to Zack anyway, right? There's no before they used Ezra Miller for Crisis on Infinite Earths, but basically, right, it's official. Grant Gustin will be in the Flashpoint movie with Ezra Miller, and as I say, Ray Fisher will be involved as well. This is going to be a massive movie, a movie we never thought we were going to get. This is a Flashpoint movie. So how can this work? Well, if they're doing a Flashpoint thing, maybe Ezra swaps universes with Grant Gustin. That could be a thing. So they're stuck in each other's Earth. That would be kind of interesting as well. That could mean that some of the other cast members of the Flash TV show could be involved, but I don't think they would do that. I definitely think these two are going to share an adventure together. Grant Gustin is one of the best actors on television, and I'm surprised he hasn't been tapped up for top roles yet. Not that the Flash isn't a top role, but he really is. Really is a great actor, and I'm so happy that him and Ezra crossed over. And just from those few minutes, those few seconds on Crisis, you could tell there was real chemistry between them, because a lot of that would have been ad-lib. They didn't have a lot of time. And I think Ezra was very much involved in the creative process of that, as was Grant. So what do I think about this? I think it's awesome. I've always loved Grant Gustin's The Flash. I stopped watching it after season 3 because the show lost its footing, I'm afraid. But I've always been a fan of Grant Gustin and what he does. He's absolutely fantastic. He works in the role. And I know that Stephen Amell, who played Oliver Queen, a.k.a. Arrow, was disappointed he wasn't cast as the movie Flash, and this could be putting that situation right. Yeah, I would love that. I would love nothing more. And I think it's happening. From what I'm being told, Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin will team up in the Flashpoint movie. There's so many things going on right now, though. As well as that, that film Flashpoint will go into production later this year. A little bit delayed, but they've still been developing the movie, writing it, getting things ready from whatever they could do from their own homes. So The delay isn't that bad for the Flashpoint movie, so there's exciting times. Again, it hasn't been officially confirmed that Ray Fisher is involved, aka Cyborg, in the Flashpoint movie. I believe that is going to happen. Now, talking of Ray Fisher, this is a great one. This is a great one. I don't praise Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder for simply putting me in Justice League. I praise them for empowering me, a black man with no film credits to his name, with a seat at the creative table and input on the framing of the stones before there was even a script. Borg life. Now, this is brilliant. Now, Zack quote tweets this. As we know, he doesn't come onto Twitter that often, but he does monitor Twitter. Don't think he doesn't. You, Ray, are the heart of my movie, at Ray Fisher. Wow, that's just brilliant. This is something that Zack's always kind of funneled to us over on Vero. So, look, let's be clear here. It's very rare for an African-American character, forget actor, but character, to be kind of the heart and soul of one of these big blockbuster movies. Never mind the superhero team-up. There's no bigger film in Hollywood right now than that. And let's look back to the Avengers. Were any African-American characters really represented that well in the first Avengers? No. Avengers 2? Age of Ultron? Not really. The only thing we really got in Infinity War was, I forgot her name now. I forgot her name. But you know, the one who ends up being Thanos' daughter. Famora? Anyway, you know who I mean, right? So anyway, she had a bit of a role, and she's obviously a big character in Guardians of the Galaxy. So they're representing someone who's African-American, right? But the whole point is, when we look at the Avengers kind of movies, they would never do that, and they haven't done that. But when you look at what Zack Snyder's doing, you've got Ray Fisher, a black actor, playing a black character, right? And he's the heart and soul of his movie. But that's massive. That's great representation. And when I talk about representation, I don't want it to sound like we're doing the black actor the favour, because that is disgusting. That is disgusting. Cyborg is, I don't think there's ever been a white version of Cyborg. I could be wrong though. Maybe multiverse versions. But I think Cyborg has always been African-American, as far as I know. So you wouldn't want to change that. Why would you? That would be stupid, right? And racist. But to represent this character, because let's be honest, basically Cyborg didn't have to be the heart of this movie, but Zack's done that. So the representation in that film, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But to go beyond that, to look at the casting, you've got a British actor in Henry Cavill as Superman. You've got an Israeli actress in Gal Gadot, right? Who's playing Wonder Woman, a.k.a. Diana as well, right? And then you've got Jason Momoa, who's, I forgot where he's from. He's got the Australian accent. Is it Maui? I think he's from Maui. So again, even though he is American, he's from America, but he's been around. So he's, there's representation there, because they could have cast a blonde, blue eyes Aquaman just like the comics, and a lot of people are peeved about that. You shouldn't. No one but Jason Momoa can be an awesome Aquaman at this point in time, right? Jason Momoa is brilliant as Aquaman, as Arthur. He's a really good actor, and he did a good job, and it works, and we love him, right? So that was good. So the representation and the diversity in Zack Snyder's casting is amazing. The man knows how to cast. But here's the thing with diverse casting. A lot of people out there are causing problems, right? With the culture war, by casting people kind of in diversity form, but casting people who should never get the role. Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, right, in Doctor Who. There's so many women they could have cast for that role, and Chris Chibnall cast his best friend. That's not how it's done. So all those women they could have cast, right? But it didn't happen, right? You got Jo, who they cast as a secret Doctor they revealed last season. She's a person of colour. Why couldn't she actually be the Doctor? Were they scared of the pushback they would have got by casting a female who's also a person of colour? I don't know. You'll have to ask them that. But she's the better actor, and she actually comes across as the Doctor. Right, anyway, we're getting away from DC, and we shouldn't be doing that. on this video. So basically what I'm saying to you is the way a lot of companies and studios are doing the castings now in diverse formats, they're just casting anyone so they can say they're diverse. But what Zach's actually done, he's casted diversely, but he's casted talented people. That's the difference. One of the many reasons I trust Zach. I trust his vision. I trust his kindness. I trust his heart. And I trust his imagination. And really just to see Ray Fisher talking about what they gave him. They allowed him at the creative table to give input before a script was written. Isn't that amazing? And that's what Zack Snyder is. That's who Zack Snyder is. And it's absolutely fantastic. And we've got a lot to look forward to, haven't we, everyone? Bit of a shorter video today because we went on for an hour yesterday and I didn't get many views for it, which was very, very disappointing. So, are you excited about the news that Grant Gustin will actually be in Flashpoint with Ezra Miller? I am. How do you feel about Cyborg? That he's the heart of Zack Snyder's Justice League movie? And are you excited potentially of him being involved in the Flashpoint movie, which is really shaping up to be something special? By the way, there's so many things to come. Aquaman 2, we don't know what Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be. There's definitely reshoots. There's definitely additional photography. This could be really entirely something a lot bigger and more different than we ever imagined. Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.